Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Ralf Rangnicks' pressing revolution has begun. Recently, Ralf Rangnick won his first game as Manchester United manager, as Manchester United beat Crystal Palace 1-0 thanks to a stunning goal from Fred. I think Rangnick can make Manchester United contenders this season. Ralf Rangnick is Manchester United's interim manager until the end of the season. Then after that, Rangnick will continue in a consultancy role for a further 2 years. I'm hearing that he's interested in taking the job on a permanent basis. Ralf Rangnick will be given a 100 million transfer budget for January. There's a few players that he wants at Man United. Obviously he wants Amadou Haidara as his first signing at Manchester United. Amadou Haidara has a £33 million release clause. Rangnick knows the player well because Rangnick used to manage RB Leipzig. Revert back to not so long ago, the Manchester Evening News said that Rangnick wants a Timo Werner reunion at Man United. Before Manchester United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. Manchester United's next game is Young Boys in the Champions League group stage. It's Manchester United's final game of the group stage. It is a meaningless game because Manchester United have already qualified for the last 16 of the Champions League. So, reflecting on that, I'm expecting Ralf Rangnick to heavily rotate for that game. Manchester United's next league game is Norwich. Manchester United will get a permanent manager at the end of the season. A few names have been linked with the permanent role at Man United. Pochettino, I still believe that he's the favourite to become Manchester United's next permanent manager. Pochettino has said a few times that he's happy at PSG and he won't let the Man United rumours distract him. Now, earlier on in the season, it said PSG rejected Manchester United's approach to appoint Mauricio Pochettino. The reports were circulating out saying that Pochettino is interested in the Man United job, and revert back to earlier on in the season, the Manchester Evening News said that Man United are confident of appointing Mauricio Pochettino as the next permanent manager. And it said Manchester United agreed to pay the 10 million compensation fee for Pochettino. He's a good manager, Pochettino, even though he's hardly won anything. I think he has won a French Cup at PSG. He's got a full season left on his PSG contract. Revert back to when Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho. Man United should have got Pochettino then, but Man United decided to go with Solskjaer instead. He's proven in the Premier League is Pochettino because before he managed Tottenham and before he managed Southampton. Revert back to last week, there was reports circulating out about Roberto Mancini becoming Man United's next permanent manager, because it did say that Man United consider hiring Roberto Mancini instead of Mauricio Pochettino. Mancini is in charge of Italy. He's been at Italy since 2018. He's got a contract with Italy until 2026. Revert back to last summer, he won the European Championship with Italy. Around a decade ago now, Mancini managed Manchester City. And when he was the manager of Man City, he won the Premier League, he won the FA Cup, and he won the Charity Shield. Erik ten Hag has also been spoken about as well. And Brendan Rodgers has been mentioned. Manchester United have sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson retired. Manchester United sacked David Moyes, sacked Louis van Gaal, sacked Jose Mourinho, and a couple of weeks ago Manchester United sacked Solskjaer following the 4-1 defeat to Watford. Manchester United and not going to be the team there was under Ferguson. No one's going to replicate what Ferguson did. Alex Ferguson brought success to Manchester United. He won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles. But he didn't settle in straight away, because Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. Ferguson was at Manchester United for around 26 years, so reflecting on that, he was a very long-serving manager. Manchester United have got very good players. And we are now going to get the best out of these group of players under Ralf Rangnicks. Well, that got proven yesterday against Crystal Palace, because it was a very good performance by Manchester United, but we only managed to win 1-0. But look who we've got in the team. We've got the best player in the world overall in Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes, Ronaldo played against Crystal Palace yesterday. Had chances, but couldn't convert them chances, unfortunately. Prior to the game against Palace, reports were coming out saying that Cristiano Ronaldo is a major doubt for Man United's game against Crystal Palace, as it said he was suffering from a knee issue. It said he picked the knee injury up when he was celebrating in the 3-2 win against Arsenal. Ronaldo was quiet in periods yesterday. Ronaldo got a brace against Arsenal last week, including the winner from the penalty. Ronaldo has 801 goals in his career, and he has 12 goals for Manchester United in all competitions since he re-signed. He's got back-to-back awards as well since he re-signed. Let me put that into the equation, because he got named Player of the Month for October, and revert back to September, he got named Premier League Player of the Month. Ronaldo has won 30 odd major trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. He has got a contract with Man United until 2023. There's an option of a further year. Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United. He wears the number 7 shirt, and Man United got Ronaldo for under £20 million. With add-ons included. Man United paid around £12.8 million up front. Jadon Sancho, he was very good in the first half yesterday against Crystal Palace, but I thought he was poor in the second half. But Jadon Sancho has improved since Manchester United sacked Solskjaer. Sancho scored 2 goals for the club so far. He scored in the 1-1 draw with Chelsea, and he scored in the 2-0 win against Villarreal. Revert back to when Man United had Solskjaer. Man United couldn't get the best out of Sancho because obviously Solskjaer was persistently playing him out of position, and there was quite a few games Sancho was not even involved in under Solskjaer. You know, Sancho's starting to settle in now, which is good news from a Man United perspective. I thought he'd have settled in straight away, but there again, not every player does settle in straight away. You know, Sancho did endure 4 good years with Borussia Dortmund before, you know, he came to Man United. Man United got Sancho for 78 million with add-ons included. Man United paid around 73 million up front. Sancho's got a contract with Man United until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. We've also got Mason Greenwood as well. That's a talented player. Greenwood came on yesterday against Palace and got the assist for the Fred goal. He made an impact. Greenwood didn't play for a while because he was out with COVID. Obviously now he's recovered from COVID. If Sancho continues with these good performances though, Greenwood could find it hard to get starts. I think Greenwood scored 4 goals in the league so far this season. He scored a stunning goal in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester earlier on this season. Most of the time Greenwood plays on the right wing when he starts. There again, he did play up top alongside Ronaldo in the 2-0 defeat to City earlier on in the season. Quite clearly the Greenwood and Ronaldo partnership doesn't work. At one point Greenwood went a while without scoring. Greenwood made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, so he's been part of the club for a long time. And last season, Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract. Marcus Rashford now, I do think he's a good player overall, but these aspects of Rashford's game that have to improve without a shadow of a doubt. Rashford, I don't think he was that good against Crystal Palace yesterday. You know, he got some good runs in behind. His movement was okay at times, but I thought his decision making was very, very poor. Rashford wasn't that good against Arsenal last week either, but he still managed to get an assist in that game. I thought Rashford did well in the second half against Chelsea the other week. At one point, Rashford was out with a shoulder injury for a while, and at one point, Rashford had to have an operation on his shoulder. You know, Rashford's been part of the club for a long time. He's been a United player since the age of 7. And he's been in our senior squad since 2016. And he's got a contract with Man United until 2023. We've also got Edison Cavani. That's a good player as well. Cavani's still out with injury at the moment. He had an injury earlier on this season. Well, Cavani initially lost his place in the team with the club re-signing Ronaldo last summer. Cavani's leaving Manchester United next year. I'm hearing that he's interested in making a move to Barcelona. Cavani's got under a year left on his contract at Man United. Revert back to May, he signed that 1-year contract extension. Man United did get Cavani on a free transfer from PSG, and this season is his second full season at Man United. Bruno Fernandes, he's also an exceptional player as well. Bruno Fernandes obviously played against Crystal Palace yesterday. He had chances, but he couldn't convert them. Fernandes played against Arsenal last week. He got a goal in that game. The build-up to that goal was very, very good. But Fernandes has had poor games this season. There again, though, he's been consistent in a lot of games for Man United. Fernandes starts the vast majority of Manchester United's games, so reflecting on that, he will get fatigue. Fernandes is one of the best players we've got, and he's certainly one of the best signings Man United have made since Fergie retired. Man United got Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Fernandes has been a Manchester United player for almost 2 years now. Revert back to earlier on this season, Fernandes did make it clear that he wants to stay at Man United. And when he first came to Man United, he said, "I've come to Manchester to win trophies." He's got a contract with Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. Moving on to Fred. He's really impressed me recently. You know, Fred was very good against Crystal Palace yesterday. Obviously scored a stunning goal late on. I thought Fred's passing was good as well in the game, and he got into some very good positions. Fred played well against Arsenal last week because he got an assist in that game, and plus he won the penalty because he got brought down by Martin Odegaard. He played well against Chelsea the other week in the second half. He squandered a chance in that game that came from a mistake from Mendy. I'm hopeful that Fred can continue with these good performances. Revert back to before though, I heavily criticised Fred because he has enjoyed a lot of bad games for Manchester United. I don't think he's a good player overall, but he's done well in his last 3 games, like I mentioned. Manchester United got Fred for 50 million from Shakhtar Donetsk quite a few years ago now. Fred was an exceptional player during his time in Ukraine. Donny van der Beek, he's another good player Manchester United have got, but he just doesn't get in the team enough. Van der Beek didn't start against Crystal Palace yesterday, but he did come on in the game. I thought he would have started against Crystal Palace. Van der Beek didn't start against Arsenal, but he came on. He didn't start against Chelsea, came on in that game. I think the only way Van der Beek will stay at Man United is if he gets the opportunities he's been demanding under Ralf Rangnicks. Because revert back to Solskjaer, I know Van der Beek did not get enough chances, and reflecting on that, he was frustrated. Van der Beek has only scored 2 goals for the club. And Van der Beek's been at Manchester United for over a year and a half. This season is his second full season at Man United. You know, Man United got Van der Beek for 40 million, with add-ons included. He's got a contract with the club until 2025. There's an option of a further year, and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Paul Pogba, he's also a good player as well. Not only a good player, he's an imperative player. Revert back towards the start of the season, Pogba did well because Pogba got 7 assists in the league. He produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season, but at one point last season he was out with a thigh injury for a while. He sustained some ankle injuries as well at Man United before. At the moment, Pogba's out with a thigh injury. Pogba's out for the rest of the year. Pogba got the thigh injury in France training earlier on this season. Revert back to earlier on this season, it did actually say that Man United are prepared to sell Paul Pogba in the January transfer window. Well, Pogba's contract at Man United expires next summer. Revert back to the start of the season. He said Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. Pogba's had a long-running transfer saga. He's been relentlessly linked with Real Madrid. His former club Juventus have been in for him, PSG have been in for him before, Barcelona have been in for him, and Inter Milan have been in for him before. Pogba's agent Mino Raiola has been working hard now for quite some time to get his client a move away from the football club. Pogba's won 3 trophies at Man United so far. This season is his 6th season since he re-signed. And Manchester United paid 89 million for Pogba, so he's our most expensive signing at the moment. And we had Pogba when he was a lot younger, under the Ferguson era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. Now, we've obviously got Alex Telles, that's a good left back. I've been impressed with Telles recently. You know, Telles has started our last 4 games now in all competitions, obviously because Luke Shaw's not been available. Luke Shaw's been out with that concussion. Telles played well against Palace yesterday. You know, he had some good chances in the game. There was one chance from the free kick where he hit the crossbar. It was from a pretty tight angle. I thought Telles' movement was good in the game. He provided width and energy. He showed good attacking intent and he got in some very good positions. I like the way Telles crosses the ball as well. Telles is undroppable at the moment. Revert back to what I said on the match reaction yesterday. I definitely think Telles will be in contention to play against Young Boys on Wednesday. Earlier on this season, Telles had an injury. You know, Manchester United got Telles for 15.4 million with add-ons included. The reason Man United brought him in was to provide competition for Shaw. And Luke Shaw, you know, he's a good left-back overall, but Luke Shaw's certainly not proven how good he can be so far this season. You know, when Luke Shaw's been fit this season, he's been absolutely terrible, and I'm shocked in that aspect because last season, Luke Shaw was absolutely superb. I'm sure at some point, though, Shaw will regain his form. Shaw's been at Manchester United for 7.5 years, so he's been a long-serving player. You know, he has got under 2 years left on his contract. Man United did get Shaw from Southampton. We brought Shaw in under the Louis van Gaal era. Diego Dalot, you know, he's impressed me recently. You know, he's started our last 2 games. Dalot played well against Crystal Palace. You know, he had some chances. Defensively, he was good, and I thought he showed some good attacking intent. And against Arsenal, he was good as well. Dalot started against Arsenal because Wan-Bissaka had a hand injury. I do think now Bissaka is back from that hand injury. Dalot's obviously our backup right back to Bissaka. Last season, Dalot had a loan spell with AC Milan, reflecting on that again some experience. Man United got Dalot from Porto for 19 million. Dalot is in contention to play against Young Boys on Wednesday. I think Wan-Bissaka's a good right back as well, defensively, but the attacking side of his game is not so good. Obviously, the last game Bissaka played was Chelsea. I thought he was poor in the game against Chelsea the other week. His positioning was poor, and Bissaka, of course, gave the penalty away because he fouled Thiago Silva in the 6-yard box. You know, this season is Pisaka's third full season at Man United. Man United got Pisaka for 50 million from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019. Man United have also got Eric Bailly, that's a good centre-half as well. The last game he played was Chelsea and he was very impressive in that one. Bailly's played 4 games so far this season. Bailly lost his place in the team a while ago though, obviously with the club signing Raphael Varane last summer, and obviously Lindelof's preferred to Bailly. I don't understand why, because Bailly is a far superior centre-half to Lindelof. But to be fair to Lindelof, he hasn't done bad recently. He put an impressive performance out against Palace yesterday. You know, he looked well composed from the back, and I like the way he brought the ball out from the back. But revert back to Bailly, you know, he is injury prone, which is a concern. Towards the end of last season, Bailly signed a new contract with Man United till 2024. There's an option of a further year. Bailly's been at Manchester United for 5.5 years now. We got him from Villarreal back in 2016 for 30 million. Raphael Varane, you know, he's a decent centre-half as well. You know, he's still not available at the moment. He's still out with that hamstring injury. It's a second injury he's endured for Man United since he signed for the club. Because revert back to earlier on this season, Varane had a groin injury and he was out with that groin injury for a few weeks. But before he got these injuries, Varane did well in some of the games he played in. He had a couple of games where he looked off the pace. You know, Man United got Varane for 34 million. Well, that's what Man United paid up front, but with add-ons included, it was around 41 million. Varane's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year. De Gea, you know, he's a world-class goalkeeper. De Gea's done really, really well this season. Of course, made up for the mistakes he made in the last couple of years before this season. De Gea was obviously in goal against Crystal Palace recently. Had very little to do. Was only called into action from long-range efforts. Against Arsenal last week, he enjoyed a bizarre moment, De Gea, because he went down in the build-up to Emil Smith-Rowe's goal. But he did make some saves in that game to deny Aubameyang and Gabriel. He did well against Chelsea the other week. He made some good saves to deny Odoi and Rudiger. Also made some world-class saves in the game against Villarreal. This season is De Gea's 11th season at Man United, so he's been a long servant. He's been with us since the Ferguson era. He's won everything domestically at the football club and he's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. Made over 300 appearances in the Premier League. De Gea's got under 2 years left on his contract and he receives £375,000 a week. Dean Henderson, you know, he's a good goalkeeper as well. Henderson doesn't get in goal now, does he? Because De Gea reclaimed that number 1 spot back last summer. Henderson's only been in goal for 1 game so far this season. That was West Ham in the Carabao Cup. Henderson, I think, is in contention though to be in goal for the game against Young Boys. Revert back to earlier on this season, Henderson had COVID for a while, didn't he? At one point last season though, Henderson got the number 1 jersey and he did well in a lot of the games he was in goal for last season. Henderson does want a loan move away from Man United next year, by the way. That Anthony Elanga looks a good player as well. He hasn't played much in the first team, but he did come on yesterday against Crystal Palace. But like I say, I haven't had a great deal of a perception on Elanga. So yeah, Man United have got a very, very good squad. Players will be leaving Manchester United next year. I think next year Martial's going. I think Mata's going. I think Lingard's definitely going. There's a good chance Van der Beek will leave. I think Matic will go. There's a chance that Pogba will leave. Cavani, he's another one. Tellez could leave. Unless, you know, he keeps his place in the team, even when Luke Shaw becomes fit. because Tellez only seems to play when Shaw's not available, if you've noticed. I definitely think Jones and Bailly are going next year. The lot could be going next year as well. And like I said, Dean Henderson wants a loan move away from Man United. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you with. On my next video, I'll be giving you the preview for the Young Boys game. Take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.